Jai Gurudev. I'm just waiting for someone else to come and join so they can start. But in case there's nobody else joining in, just give me a few minutes. We'll get started. Yeah. Jai Gurudev, Dr. Mara.
Hi, good morning.
Hi. Happy Deepavali to all of you.
Happy Deepavali. Do you?
Are you able to read today?
You want me to read today?
Are
I
you
just
able
need
to?
a few minutes. Yeah.
No problem. I will start in the meantime. You can then take
I'll
over.
join you in a few minutes. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I started read up to that 190. That, but the consciousness between thoughts. That's the one I wish to read. But if you want to start from the earlier part, also is fine. We just read like few pages. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. Let me just go to the Google Drive and then I will start. You can then catch up. Okay? Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. So is this where you stopped till consciousness between two thoughts? So you must have covered what, 2-3 verses?
Yeah, like the Sat and Asat, Tucha, those differences, and then that Sat remains always, and those, and this.
Nasato vidyate bhav. Yeah, this was this was the shloka that we last.
Same
This is the
shloka only.
shloka.
Same. Yes,
Yeah, same shloka,
this
right?
sloka is like 14 pages long.
Oh,
So,
okay. Yeah.
yes. So we only went through few pages.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. So I'll just chant the shloka and then we'll quickly run through, and then once you're ready, let me know. You can take over.
Yeah, sure.
नासतो विद्यते भावो नाभावो विद्यते सतः उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्तः त्वनयोस्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः. For the unreal, mithya, there is never any being. For the real, there is never any non being. The ultimate truth of both of these is seen by the knowers of the truth. This is a very important verse, even though cryptic. For the asat, a word we shall use as it is, there is no being, bhava. In other words, being is not there for the asat. And for the sat, there is no non being. In the second line of the verse, Krishna went on to say that this fact is known by those people who know the ultimate truth about Sat and Asat. The first line is the crux of the verse. Asat means something that does not exist independently, and Sat is what exists independent of anything else. What is it that exists independently? Cold and heat, for example, do not exist independently because they depend upon a number of factors. There is no absolute cold existing by itself. That something is cold depends upon something else. The temperature cannot reveal itself to you by itself because unless you have a perception, therefore, your perception is essential in order to understand that something is cold and something else is hot. When you say this is a pot, does the word pot reveal an object that exists by itself? Or does the object indicated by the word pot depend for its existence upon something else? If it depends on something else, clay, because of which the pot is there and unto which it will go back, that clay becomes the cause, karana, for the pot. The word pot has no real object outside of the word itself. It has no existence apart from the clay. That which has a cause, that which depends upon something for its existence, that which does not independently exist, is called asat. So, this footnote for asat is this explanation is from the Chandogya Upanishad, where in one particular sentence it is said that before this creation there was only one thing, the Sat Vastu, which was non dual, one without a second, undifferentiated. Nothing else was there. From that Satvastu alone, called Brahman, everything has come and is non separate from it. Nothing exists apart from Sat. This knowledge was revealed in this Upanishad to Shvetaketu, who had been sent by his father to a Gurukula at the age of 12. He returned at the age of 24, very proud of his accomplishments, having studied the Veda for 12 years. Shvetaketu's father was a great man. He could not stand his son's arrogance. So he asked his son, did you ask your teacher for that knowledge, gaining which everything is known? The boy replied that he did not think his teacher knew this. Later he asked his father if there was such a knowledge, and he said, how can you know one thing and thereby know everything else? If there is such a knowledge, please teach me, O Lord. The same topic is discussed in the Mundaka Upanishad. The only difference being that there the student asked this question to the teacher, whereas in the Chandogya Upanishad, the father asked Shvetaketu, who said he didn't know. Then Shvetaketu asked his father to teach him.
Okay, I'm ready, Dr. Brahma. Do you
Huh.
want me to share the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So, shall I continue from where you left off? Or?
I stopped at that Sat and Asat,
Chan.
Chandogya Upanishad.
Okay, I get it. Oh,
The only reason is because we not able to put it on the YouTube. So if someone is following that, then unless there is a continuity,
yeah,
so
yeah.
therefore,
No, no. It
we'll just
is
go back from where we had stopped.
okay. So you read this page already, right?
Not the whole page.
Mm.
Shankara, yeah, from Shankara explains Asat further.
Okay,
That is where you need to start. Okay.
okay.
Thank you.
Shankara explains Asat further. When we try to prove the existence of things that are dependent upon causes for their existence, such as cold and heat or any given object, we find there is no self existent thing at all among the objects of the world. Why? Because what is there only a form, vikara, that keeps changing, vyabhi- vyabhicharati. Vyabhicharati. It is never the same, nor can it be the same. So I'll read this again. Shankara explains Asat further. When we try to prove the existence of things that are dependent upon causes for their existence, such as cold and heat or any given object, we find there is no self-existent thing at all the objects of the among the objects of the world. Why? Because what is there is only a form, vikara, that keeps changing, vyabhicharati. It is never the same, nor can it be the same. Shankara goes on to prove a point here. Suppose all pots are made of clay, but you have knowledge of only one pot. You know it is a clay. If you know Satya, the truth, the cause, Karana of all pots to be non-dual clay, regardless of what form any or all pots assume, you know that they are nothing but this one clay. By knowing that one clay, you know all pots in the sense that they are not separate from the clay. Although this is a general knowledge, samanya jnana, of all pots as clay, and not the particular knowledge, vishesha jnana, of individual pots. It is knowledge of the whole. Then what is a pot? It is purely a name for a form. Other than this, there is no pot that exists separate from clay, nor is the clay the pot. If it were, again, you would not need to make the pot, the clay being there already. Therefore, the clay is not the pot. Therefore, the clay is not the pot. If you remove the clay, where is the pot? Is it anywhere? Is it something that you have to search for? No. All that is there for the same name, for the name pot is a form recognized as such. Anything that is time bound, like a pot, will change, and you cannot stop it because its nature is to keep on changing. When and how are you going to stop it? Therefore, what are you crying for? What are you sad for? Are you sad for something eternal because it is eternal? No. Sat is that which never changes. It has no non existence above at all. The Sat is never negated at any time. Sat is never negated at any time. Whereas Asat never enjoys a being of its own. Therefore, Sat cannot create any sorrow for you. Sat cannot create any sorrow for you, and Asat is incapable of doing so because it does not exist in its own right. So, how can Asat create sorrow? In the vision of the Veda, you are the Sat, and everything else is Asat. Asat cannot be a source of sorrow to Sat, and Sat cannot be a source of sorrow to you because it's you. The whole problem is one of confusion between Sat and Asat, between Atma and Anatma. Asat has no being, no bhava. It has no existence. Thus, it cannot be a bhava. It cannot be bhava, that which exists in all three periods of time. A thing that exists is bhava, and abhava is a thing that does not exist. The word bhava comes from the root bhu, used in the sense of existence. So I'll move on to next heading, but anybody wants anything to be repeated so far we read? Okay. Analysis of existence and non-existence. Tucha is another word for abhava and refers to certain combinations that do not exist at all. For example, man's horn, Manushya Shringa, does not exist. Horn exists and man exists. Both are bhava, both exist. For these words, there are objects in the world which I know exist. But when I combine the two as man's horn, there is no such thing. Does the word asat in the verse mean tucha, non-existent? No, because it is unnecessary to say that something that is non-existent has no being. In some modern commentaries on the Gita, however, we do find asat being translated as and equated to non-existent. What purpose is served by this sentence? The non-existent, such as the man's horn, has no existence. No purpose is served by this sentence. That which we refer to as asat has an order of reality, which is neither satya, bhava, or nor tucha. There is another type of abhava between these two, a non-existence that we call asat here. For instance, we cannot dismiss the sense organs and sense objects as totally non-existent tucha. Are they then Sat? Let us analyze them. So far we read about what is Tucha and then what is the difference between Asat and the Tucha. And now we're trying to make a differentiation by the example. The sense organ cannot be called a sense organ unless it perceives something Eyes are a sense organ only because they see a form. Ears are a sense organ because they hear a sound. And the senses of smell, taste, and touch are all called sense organs because they contact their sense objects. How can you call eyes a sense organ if they do not see? If ears do not hear, there is no sense organ, even though the earlobes may be used for earrings or for catching hold of someone. The earlobes, etc., are just the anatomical aspects of sense called hearing. It is hearing that makes the ears a sense organ, and there is no such thing as sound without the ears, which establishes what? To establish the existence of one, we need to establish the existence of the other. I would like to ask if somebody can read for just a couple of paragraphs, I'll be back. I just need to take a little break.
I will read, huh? So, where have you stopped? The earlobes. But you will be able to share the screen because I've left the computer now. So, to establish the existence of one, we need to establish the existence of the other. When establishing the existence of either one, which depends on establishment, the existence of the other, there must be some other basis for the existence of both. Thus, all of them depend on something that is self-existent, called Sat. Because we cannot dismiss the sense organs and their sense objects as non-existent, we say they are Asat. They are not totally non-existent. That is, Atyanta Abhava. The sense organs and the sense objects do exist. All the responses of pleasure and pain, Sukha and Dukkha exist. You cannot dismiss them as non-existent, nor can you take them as independently existent. Therefore, for something that cannot be dismissed as non-existent, tuchha, and cannot be taken as independently existent, sat, we have to have a word, and that word is asat. Another word for asat is mithya. Asat or mithya is that which has no bhava, that which depends upon sat. Only when there is sat is asat possible. Therefore, mithya or asat is something whose existence depends upon another thing, and because it has no independent existence, it is not separate from that upon which it depends. Objects do not exist independently. When a pot is made, before it is baked, there is only clay. Thus, once upon a time, the pot was clay. When it became a pot, it was clay in the name of pot. Even though it has been fired, it is nothing but clay. All that has happened is that the clay now has an added attribute, guna, the pot form. This added attribute is what is meant by creation. Creative possibilities are there, but there is no such thing as a clay pot without clay. When we look at anything in this world, we always find that it is a form with a name, depending on some other substantives, vastu. A particular form, rupa, is called asat. It has the nature of its substantive, but in itself has no bhava. By the time you see an object, it has already changed. It is never the same in the next moment. It is like seeing a film projected on a white screen. It looks as though someone is standing there, but in fact, the frame is continuously changing. Similarly, the frame in one's mind keeps on changing, exactly like the film. This is what makes it possible for us to see motion, because what you have seen is already gone and you do not see it again in the same form. An object has no real bhava. In a flowing river, you do not get the same water at the same time. It is over, gone, flowing constantly in the flow of time.
Okay, I can take over here.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Similarly, any perception we have is conditioned by time and therefore has the nature of being merely an appearance. It is as though there and not really there because it is always changing. It is as though all the time. So, I'll read this line again. Similarly, any perception we have is conditioned by time and therefore has the nature of being merely an appearance. It is as though there and not really there because it is always changing. It is as though all the time. All objects in the world are time bound. When you see an object, give me when you see an object, that object is not seen by you as an independent object. So, you always see some other thing along with it. When you see a shirt, for example, you also see cloth. And when you see the cloth, you see a particular material. Thus, you find that the shirt has no existence apart from its cause, karana, the cloth. Not only can you not create a shirt without cloth, you cannot imagine one either. The cloth here refers to any material with which the shirt is made. Without cloth, paper, or some other material, it is impossible to make a shirt, even in your imagination. You can imagine an elephant entering your ear by seeing yourself as very big. But you cannot imagine making a shirt without a cloth. No object exists by itself apart from its cause. An object that does not exist independent of something else cannot have the word sat imputed to it. So, an object that does not exist independent of something else cannot have the word sat imputed to it. It can only be called asat because sat will be the one upon which the object depends for its bhava. If I remove the cloth, can you wear the shirt? All you will have is the emperor's clothes. There is no such thing as shirt without the material with which it is made. For the word shirt, there is no corresponding object at all. Bhava means it must independently exist. And because the cloth is the bhava, the shirt has no independent substantive status. Nor can you say the cloth with which the shirt is made is sat, because it too depends on something else. Excuse me. Then what is the real sat? That which exists by its own glory and does not depend on anything else for its existence is called Sat or Satya. Just because something is the cause does not mean it is Satya. Causes themselves depend on their causes and therefore also Asat. Why do we see the Sat in the Asat? Why do we see the Sat in the Asat? If everything is Asat, how is it that we see the world as real as Sat? We say the world is. We do not look at it as something that is not. This is because in every perception there are two buddhis. Here, buddhi means knowledge, cognition. One buddhi is with reference to the object, the other is with reference to its asat buddhi, and the is not buddhi. This is not buddhi has to be explained. The problem is that we take the is not as is and get confused. This confusion leads to sukha and dukkha. When we see a pot, there is a pot buddhi, pot cognition, and we say the pot is. That buddhi, cognition, whose object is the pot, undergoes a change similar to the changing frame in a moving film. It is this buddhi that is called asat buddhi, and that which does not undergo a change is called sat buddhi. So that which does not undergo a change is called sat buddhi. Suppose the pot you are looking at is replaced by another object, a tree. The pot is gone and the tree is there in its place. Previously, we said the pot is, and now we say the tree is. If we analyze these two cognitions, we can see that the is buddhi never goes. The pot goes because it is asat, and the sat that is always there is now with the tree. When the tree buddhi goes, branch buddhi may be there, and when the branch buddhi is gone, leaf buddhi is there. When the leaf buddhi is gone, chlorophyll buddhi is there, and when the chlorophyll buddhi is gone, particle buddhi is there. When particle buddhi is gone, whatever buddhi that is left will still be there. What is it that remains? Sat, that is always there, is always is. Therefore, it is called Sat, that which does not change. Whereas the object whose buddhi changes is called Asat. The object is Asat because the buddhi keeps changing. We recognize it differently each time it changes. In every perception, that then there are two buddhis, the object buddhi and the is buddhi. When we say blue pot, Neelakataha, both words indicate the same object. The object that is blue is a pot. An object that is pot is blue. Similarly, when I say, please meet Mr. So and so, excuse me, sorry, both Mr. So and the musician are one and the same object. 1 second. Both Mr. So and so and the musician are one and the same object. When we say Arjunaha Pandavaha, there is only one person, Arjuna, and he is a Pandava. In all this situation, there is a substantive adjective relationship. The word blue is an adjective to the pot in the expression blue pot. However, this is not so when we say the existent pot and or this is a pot. This is a pot. Well, here it seems as though the yeastness is an adjective to the pot. It is not correct. The pot is the adjective to existence. The potness qualifies the yeastness. Here there is Sat Buddhi, meaning that the pot exists, and there is also pot Buddhi, that is the object Buddhi, which are two different things. To say this is a pot definitely implies easiness, since the word is used. There are therefore always two buddhis, Sat Buddhi and Asat Buddhi. The Asat Buddhi is called object Buddhi. Only Asat Buddhi, the object Buddhi, changes, meaning that the existence Sat Buddhi is conditioned by an object as its attribute. Is always there. When the tree is in the form of a tree. Similarly, is can be in the form of a pot, a person, a nose, a body, or anything. The existence is also in the form of a thought. Therefore, there is no thought. If there is no thought, what is there is existence minus thought, existence minus the body, existence minus the world is existence. That existence, Sat, is always there, not affected by any addition to or subtraction from it. Okay, I'm going to stop here. You guys want to discuss whatever we read so far? I think.
Yeah. So the guna is the attribute, and that is the adjective to the sat. That is the whole creation. So therefore, sat is nirguna, without any gunas. But the jagat or mithya has got all the gunas. And when we actually extrapolate this, so when you talk of sattva, rajas, tamu gunas, that is the nature of the asat world. Whereas sat, the atma or brahman, is without any attributes, without any gunas. So if you consider the pot as an adjective to the clay, so all the whole existence or the whole creation is like an adjective to the existence sat. So an adjective is dependent upon something else. So you cannot have an nama rupa without the cause, without the base, the karana. So that karana, that isness, that trikala abhatita vastu, that sat vastu is the basis of the entire existence, the entire creation.
That easiness is there always, right? Like the here they explained by this part where we get confused, which is always the case, that the is not buddhi and is buddhi.
Yeah. So the is buddhi
the Asat Buddhi and Sat Buddhi, right?
Correct.
So when the Asat Buddhi is that is not Buddhi, and there was one example which is really nice, right? That Manushya is one
Manusya Shringa.
Shringa. So
But that
Manushya
is,
exists and the Shringa exists. But when you put those two words together, like Manushya Shringa, does not exist. So
but
that's
that
what,
is tucha. That is a different order of reality. But
yeah,
what is
right,
being discussed here as Pot Buddhi and Sat and Asat Buddhi is a different order of reality. It is not non-existent thing. So
yeah,
Asat has an order of reality. Sense organs exist, sense objects exist. They and the perception of pain, sukha, dukkha is perceivable by us. We cognize that.
right. But what
So
I,
Asat, there are three orders of reality that were discussed. No, Sat, Asat, and Tucha.
right,
So this Manushya Shringa is something that is non-existent, whereas
right,
Asat is as though existent. But then it doesn't exist independently. It depends upon something else. And what is that something else is the Satvastu. So when we're talking of is Buddhi and is not Buddhi, it is not to do with the non-existent Tucha. It is to do with this, the, like, right now you're looking at the pot, and then after a while you're looking at the tree. So then that is being associated with the tree now.
no, I understand that the reason I brought that up is
Huh.
that he's not Buddhi is correct for that because that doesn't exist for Manushya Shringa. That's what uh,
Huh. But
I
I
was
don't know
trying to
whether
say.
in the paragraph where you read is Buddhi is not Buddhi.
Yeah, I think it will
Do
be,
you mind
they,
just reading that once again so we have this clarity?
yeah, sure. I think it came somewhere else also. That's why I kept there thinking that yesterday we read some. Okay, it will come somewhere, but I'll read the where we read this Manushya Shrinka. Yeah, definitely it was about the Tucha. That's when we read that. Yeah, here. Tucha is another word for abhava, which and refers to certain combination that do not exist at all. For example, man's horn, Manushya Shringa, does not exist. Horn exists and man exists. Both are bhava, both exist. For these words, there are objects in the world which I know exist. But when I combine the two as man's horn, there is no such thing. Does the word asat in the verse mean tucha, non existent? No, because it is unnecessary to say that something that is non existent has no being. In some modern commentaries on the Gita, however, we do find asat being translated as and equated to non existent. But what purpose is served by this sentence? The non existent, such as the man's horn, has no existence. No purpose is served by this sentence. That which we refer to as asat has an order of reality, which is neither satya, bhava, nor tucha. There is another type of abhava between these two, a non existent that we call asat here. For instance, we cannot dismiss the sense organs and the sense objects as totally non existent tucha. Are they then sat? Let us analyze them. So I know here it said like this, and somewhere else they mentioned about it. What is correct? It mentioned this is not buddhi. Yeah, you're right. It specifically It doesn't make any sense because it doesn't exist in non-existent part is ticha. Hmm.
No, where you read the is buddhi and the is not buddhi, that paragraph regarding the pot and the tree, and I think that was where the is and the is not buddhi came up.
Right. Here it is. Why do we see the sat in the asat? If everything is asat, how is it that we see the world as real, asat? We say the world is, but we do not look at it as something that is not. This is because every perception there are two buddhis. Here, buddhi means knowledge, cognition. The one buddhi is with reference to object, and the other is with reference to its asat buddhi. That is not buddhi. This is not buddhi has to be explained. The problem is that we take the is not as is and get confused. This confusion leads to sukha and dukkha. When we see a pot, there is a pot buddhi, pot cognition, and we say the pot is. That buddhi cognition, whose object is the pot, undergoes change similar to the changing frame in a moving film. It is this buddhi that is called asad buddhi. That which does not undergo a change is called sad buddhi. Suppose the pot you are looking at is replaced by another object, a tree. The pot is gone and the tree is there in its place. Previously we said the pot is, now we say the tree is. If we analyze these two cognitions, we can see that the is buddhi never goes. The pot goes, and because it is asat, and the sat that is always there is now with the tree. When the tree buddhi goes, branch buddhi may be there. When the branch buddhi is gone, leaf buddhi is there. When the leaf buddhi is gone, chlorophyll buddhi is there. And when the chlorophyll buddhi is gone, particle buddhi is there. When particle buddhi is gone, whatever buddhi that is left will still be there. So that's what that part of it, right?
So therefore, this is not and is buddhi is with reference to asat and sat.
But yeah.
Correct? It is not with reference to tucha, which is totally non-existent. So what we're talking of this is not buddhi is because it is momentary. I mean, you're looking at the pot. The next moment you're looking at something else.
Mm-hmm.
So that moment where you do not see the pot is not there. So there is that constant flux, that constant change that is happening. That is not buddhi. Is there are two aspects there. Is buddhi and is not buddhi.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole paragraph was, why do we see sat in asat?
Mm-hmm. That
Right?
the easiness is there.
The
Even
easiness
if
is there.
yeah.
But what is changing, like a movie film, is the asat.
Mm-hmm.
So why do we take the world as real? Is because of the confusion. We take the confusion is what? We take what is not to be is. We
Yeah.
think the world which is not, which is asat, to be sat.
Yeah.
This is the whole confusion. And that is why pain becomes suffering. Pain
Say that
becomes
again.
sorrow.
What you said right now. Sorry, but
Huh?
you said that it causes the pain, right? So
Correct. So the reason why we are sorrowful is because of this confusion. Pain is inevitable. That
yeah.
matra sparshastu kaunteya, whenever the sense organs encounter sense objects. There will be sensations of pain, pleasure, opposites,
Right.
pairs of opposites.
That's
That
so.
is there.
Mm-hmm.
But why is there sorrow? Why is there suffering? Like how why Arjuna is suffering is because of the confusion.
That we think is not is the is, right?
Is not is the is.
Yeah.
We are
So,
taking the world which is not
mm,
to be real and we are imputing that isness onto that, and then we think, oh, the world is. So the
right.
and not only that, we start complaining. The pain is there, but then once it becomes a complaint, and that complaint comes because of this confusion.
Yeah. This man's horn thing that I just talked to you about, it is
Huh.
coming in the next page again
Okay.
in some other context. But when we read that, it should be there
Becomes
with the context, then only you'd
right.
understand that better.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So the consciousness between two thoughts, they bring in the same
Huh.
examples and they try to explain it, what's happening
Okay.
between those two. So that's where I was trying to tell you that was not buddhi.
Right, right. No, no. I just wanted to clarify that there were three
Yeah,
aspects that they were talking about.
right,
And
exactly. But then only thing is, we like it said, you get confused, which is what's happening. Like when we're reading again and again this, are we reading and understanding it correctly? That's what my concern
correct,
was.
correct.
Yeah. Okay. So, um, yeah. So we could do the Manana because we are pretty much out of time now. Uh, so anyone else want to share what we read so far?
See, when you compare this is not thing with respect to different states, uh,
Mm-hmm.
waking, dream, and deep sleep.
Mm.
So that is there is associated with the waking state. We are awake and we are seeing everything.
Yeah, and dream state
Dream
also.
state, we are associating it with the dream.
Mm. The
And then in the
projection.
deep sleep, you are getting it's a very blissful state. But
Mm-hmm.
then you're associating it with that sushupti avastha. That
Mm-hmm.
so
That we
that
kept
isness
well.
is what trikala abhatita. What the sat is something that exists in all the three
Three
states,
times, yeah, three states.
right?
And
The
it's
states change. The waking moves into dream, dream moves into deep sleep, and this deep sleep again comes into waking.
yeah.
That is a constant flux that is happening day by day, every day. But what is existing throughout is the Sat. That is why that satsang is, such a beautiful word, is
Mm.
remaining with the truth,
Mm.
staying
Satsang.
with the truth. So,
Mm.
are we able to remain with this order of reality, which is truth, and not get entangled in this other order of reality, which is asat or mithya?
Mm.
For that, we require viveka, we require vichara, we require vairagya,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, we require a guru to show us the path.
Mm. Right. So tomorrow you all having Diwali tomorrow, right? Is that tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow.
So do you want to have the class in for your time or
Yeah, I think we'll continue.
you continue? Okay.
Tomorrow I'll be able to read. If you're not able to, let me know. I will be able to read.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I'll be able to because people have called me. I kept putting it off. I won't because of the class. I won't come, but I
Uh,
don't know. I'll try.
but if everybody is able to attend, we'll have tomorrow. But if everyone is like busy and going not to be able to attend, if it's only going to be one, two, or three of us, then I
Yeah,
suggest we continue from day after.
yeah. Monday evening for me would be for no. Tomorrow is Sunday for me, so for you would be Monday, right?
Hmm.
Oh, it's already Diwali for you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. So for us, only tomorrow, I think.
So, can we have a show of hands here? The seven of us that are there. If all of us, most of us are able to attend tomorrow, we'll have it tomorrow.
Mm.
If not, we'll continue from Tuesday.
Okay. So that'll be Monday evening I can join. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That'd be nice. Okay.
All, all of you who are here, Dr. Renu, Madhuri ji, Malti ji, Sarala, Vandana ji, can you just indicate either on the chat or by unmuting and saying whether you are available tomorrow?
I'm available.
I'm not available.
Okay.
Actually, we read up to that part, Dr.
Huh.
Pramila. So four of us were there both days, but then some of them were there the previous day. So we
Okay.
read, but it's not that we don't want to. As I said, you don't have this on the YouTube.
No problem. In that case, we'll have the class tomorrow. I think we'll have it and we'll read up to wherever that
Okay.
we're able to. Okay. So let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
You can do the Shanti part and I'll share the meditation.
Okay. Good. लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ तत्सत् श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम्
Meditation is accepting this moment, living every moment totally with depth. Let us keep our spine erect and body relaxed and eyes closed. Relax your shoulders. Keep a big smile on your face. You're sitting like the statue of Buddha, very serene and with a serene smile on your face. Relax your body. Let's take a deep breath in and breathe out. Become aware of your chest region, throat and chest region. If you notice some tension in the body, just let it be. Except those parts of the body where you feel a tension, the other parts are in comfort. Other parts are at peace. Become aware of that also. There are many good things about you and inside of you. Acknowledge them. They will never leave you. And the negative aspect you may see in you is never going to stay with you forever. They are all guests for some time. Let them be. Sit with the total acceptance of yourself the way you are at this very moment. Total acceptance of what is now here will lead us to deeper meditation. Let go of all the effort. Shanti, Shanti. Let go of all your effort and be in this emptiness. And slowly and gradually become aware of body and surroundings. And you may gently